I hope you're all having a wonderful day and welcome back to my channel. So recently, one of you guys recommended that I should try out the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I literally within hours went to Sephora, got it, and I've been using it ever since. I really do like it. For those of you who don't know, which by now I think most of you do, I have Trichotillomania, which is an impulse control disorder. Basically, I pull out my hair impulsively, and I've been doing this for the past like 15 years or so. Mainly this focuses on both my brows and eyelashes. My eyelashes are looking okay, my brows are looking okay. They're not the best right now, so I'm always trying to find products that will help kind of hide it. Not that I'm really ashamed of it, it's just like some days it's just nice to not have to like deal with it or be aware of it constantly. Some people have disorders like nail biting or skin picking or things that aren't like as noticeable, but I feel like when it's on your face, it's really evident. So again, not that I'm like ashamed by it, but I definitely want to like feel normal, so I feel like doing my brows and putting on false lashes helps me achieve that. So I was really intrigued by this, especially with the whole idea of like an ink stain or something that's really thin and more liquidy. I know sometimes like with dip brow, I've seen tutorials using that, and that seems to work pretty well, but I feel like I wanted something more like thinner to apply on my brows. There are some things that I think aren't the best about it, but we'll talk about it. So I hope you guys are excited for this review and try on of the Urban Decay Brow Blade. Alright, so I'm going to dust off a little bit of that bakeage off my brows. I am currently baking. If you guys haven't seen my Valentine's Day tutorial, that is the look I am doing right now, and I'm doing this review while I'm also filming that tutorial. So really what drew me to this product was the fact that it was an ink stain. I really wanted to create more of like a microbladed brow look. It's something that I've really been interested in doing, so I thought this would be really cool. It does also come with a waterproof pencil side. I'm not really sure how. I kind of wish it was all just the ink stain, just because I feel like there are so many brow pencils out there, but I do know this launched with a collection of other brow products, so maybe they just kind of wanted to do for one, but I do wish it was all just the ink stain because I feel like that's kind of what drew me into this product in the first place. So I think you're supposed to start, you know what, I'll do both. I think you're supposed to start with the pencil first and then go in and add in some more depth with the stain part, but I'm going to do it both on both sides. So I'll start on this side with the stain, and then on the other side I'll start with the pencil. I'm actually going to change out my camera and get the lens so that I can zoom you guys in so you can really see what I'm doing when I'm doing these techniques. Okay, so now you guys are really up close and personal, but I feel like that totally makes sense, especially because we're going into such detailed work. I want you guys to be able to see exactly how the product looks. So we're starting off with the ink stain side. And what I'm going to do is just kind of start at the base and flick upwards. I'm basically going to try to recreate this based off what I know and how like brows look normally, because these hairs in the front kind of go upwards, then they start to kind of go off to the side and then down towards the back. I'm going to do this very light-handedly. Just kind of flick these upwards. And it's okay if it's not super perfectly even, because brow hairs naturally aren't. It is kind of challenging to make it not super thick, even though I've definitely used this successfully, just not on camera. The brush itself too is, it's a brush, so I really appreciate that as opposed to like a felt tip, because I feel like it does create more natural strokes. Really what I'm doing is just flicking this up. It does look kind of weird right now, but that's also because I'm just kind of trying to create the hair, and then I'm going to fill it in afterwards. So now I'm going to do some shading with the brow pencil. So I'm just taking that and just lightly starting off at the bottom here. And it's hard to tell, but I am holding this pretty light. Alright, so that's how it's looking. Might do a couple darker strokes too. I'll actually be using the spoolie from the Benefit Goof Proof pencil. So just kind of brushing that through, blending it together. And once I do that, it does make it look a little bit blurrier and does kind of get rid of some of the definition. So what I'll do then is go back in again with the ink side just to kind of add that definition back. Alright, I feel like this is looking a little better. Let me just clean this up really quick, even with like some tweezers, just because I haven't got my brows done in a while, and I'll be right back. So now that that's done, I'm going back in one more time with the pencil just to kind of add a little bit more Like right underneath here, it's looking a little sparse, and then also in the front a little bit too. Dang, not too bad. Okay, so normally I only do my brows on this side. This is, I feel like, my better side when it comes to brows, but just to try it out and try going in with the pencil first and then the stain, I'm going to do this side the opposite just to see which way I like better, or even if there's a difference at all. All right, so starting out at the base here. Honestly, even the days where I don't have any brows, I still want to go get them done just so there's some sort of shape, because right now, as they're growing back in, it's just like so hard to figure out where my brows are supposed to be. So I feel like it's actually pretty easy to use. I'm barely putting any pressure. And as you can tell on this side, it was pretty easy to get heavy-handed. So on this side, I'm trying to go really light and just to kind of give myself a shape first before I go back in and add in the hairs. So kind of my intention is different, where I'm trying to almost outline it like you would with like a coloring book. As silly as that sounds. And then use the stain part to kind of add in the details. And then it did blend out pretty nicely. All right, so that's actually looking pretty good. Taking that spoolie again, I'm just gonna run it through and smooth it out. I'd much rather start off soft on my brows and then build upon it, because once you get this dark, it's kind of hard to go back. I'm okay leaving this look a little sparse, and hopefully I can fix it with the ink side. When I'm first going in with this, I definitely want to start more in the middle. That way, in case I mess up and I accidentally draw my lines on too thick, it's in an area where it's okay for them to be a little bit darker. And then once I'm used to the way it feels in my hand and when I'm using the tool, that's when I move in towards the front, because naturally with brows, they're a little bit thinner in the front and you can definitely see more hairs rather than in the back. There's usually more fullness, and it's really important that you go light with this and then just build it up rather than trying to go heavy-handed. I'm also going in small movements with this because brows aren't naturally like one line from the front to the back, so I am trying to just go in smaller sections so that it looks as like natural as possible. I think the trickiest part is mastering the preciseness of trying to make it look as natural as possible, which does take some practice. Now we're moving towards the front. I'm trying to not hold the brush at an angle. I'm trying to hold it just straight up and down, because I feel like that's when you get the most, like the thinnest strokes. But overall, I feel like this is looking pretty natural. Yeah, I feel like that's looking a lot better than the first side. Now that looks a little softer, I'm going to go over one more time with the ink side, just right in this section here. I feel like they're looking pretty natural, definitely more natural than this side, but I am going to clean up a little bit underneath here and also do the concealer trick as well, just to make it look a little bit sharper to match the first side. Overall, I think they both look really good. Honestly, I'm not, as a seeing the finished product, I'm not seeing too much of a difference other than the fact that like I definitely should have drawn this brow a little bit lower now, and that's gonna bug me. But even doing the brow pencil first versus the ink side, as an end result, I'm not seeing too much of a difference. I think it definitely, when I started to put it on, I think it looked more natural on this side when I did the pencil first, just because then I could really see what areas I needed to fill in, whereas I feel like I did go a little bit heavy-handed on this side to begin with, because when I was just using the ink, it was kind of hard to tell where exactly I needed to fill it in. So if I were recommending to you guys how to use this product, I think I would go in with the pencil first, just to kind of give a nice base layer, and then you can really see where your sparse areas are, so you know how to appropriately fill them in. Even though if you do start with the ink side, I think it works just as fine, except I'm noticing they're a little uneven, and I'm definitely going to draw this in a little bit lower through here. But overall, I think it looks really good. So now that you've seen it in action, here are some of my thoughts. I have worn this product, and even looking at it now, when I showed you those other clips, it was a good couple hours ago, so it still has definitely stayed on, has not moved. I haven't really tried it like to make sure it's waterproof. Like, I haven't really worn it in the rain. I don't think it would like melt off my face, but it does seem to like not budge. I feel like it looks really natural. Even at first when it like looks like it wouldn't be very natural, just by blending it out with a spoolie helps a ton. The only first thing I noticed when I was in the store buying it that I was kind of disappointed about was the shade range. I normally like to have my brows a little bit dark because my hair is pretty dark right now, and this is the darkest it goes. And I feel like for this, it still looks brown to me. It doesn't look like a black or an ebony. Those are some of the shades I actually get with like Anastasia for the dip brow, and even for Benefit, I use the shade 06. That's the darkest shade they make. So for this, and I'm thinking maybe because they just launched it, they might add some more colors in the future, but I just feel like it's not dark enough. And especially for me, like I feel like this works, but for people who are darker than me, I feel like this won't show up at all. Then again, when I am using it, it does build on itself. I just still feel like it's not as dark as it should be because this is the darkest shade that it comes in. I also felt like it did take some getting used to and just how to hold it because it is kind of easy to accidentally make the lines a little bit thick. But once I got used to holding it just like straight up and down, that seemed to work pretty well. And I do love how it turned out. I feel like it looks so natural. Out of all the products I've tried, actually, I feel like this looks the most natural. And I did a little bit more intense brows today, but I have worn it to work on days where I'm not wearing all this makeup, and I think it looks awesome. Overall, I really do like this product. I feel like it's great for people like me with sparse brows because it does look really natural, and I feel like it does a really good job of hiding the fact that you have sparse brows, which is pretty cool. So those are my thoughts on the new Urban Decay Brow Blade. Let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you'd be interested in? Do you have sparse brows as well for Trichotillomania or cancer? Like there's a ton of other reasons why people would have sparse to no brow hair. So if you are in that spot, would you want to try something like this? Is it kind of intimidating because you do have to be pretty technical, but I think it's also something that you can just kind of throw on the car too as well. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys want to see more videos like this reviewing brow products, let me know that too. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.